Hello there, welcome to this Monday edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm your host, Adrian Atkinson. It's going to be a good show, so please stay with us.
Stand up and get in the race.
I can become the master of my destiny.
Step up your stride, make we work like a harder. Do it like Veronica, more than a supper.
We can rise above the challenges and shine.
Was with passion in your heart. Make a plan and stop all the hyping. You think I saw we reach our aging? I can, you can. Like our Olympians, every Jamaican can.
Good day, I'm Carrie-Ann Smith and this is your JIS News from Monday, March 12. The Education Ministry says its contingency plan has been in full gear and additional support deployed where needed as many teachers take apparent industrial action today. Across the island this morning, many students had to return home as teachers called in sick, while some schools had limited classes and continued co-curricular activities. The ministry said it was receiving mixed reports from schools on the impact of the industrial action, with schools in Manchester and St. Elizabeth reporting greatest turnout of students, prompting additional help being sought from the Northern Caribbean University to man classes. While several unions have inked a wage deal with the government, teachers are among some groups that have rejected the offer as being too low. To limit the impact of their industrial action, Education Minister Senator Ruel Reid says regional response teams were put on standby to keep schools operational today.
Regional response teams comprising officers from the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information, select tertiary institutions, secondary schools, student bodies, and the National Parent Teachers Association of Jamaica are being briefed and placed on standby alert to take charge of classes.
Up to press time, the ministry said no instruction had been given for any school to be closed. Meanwhile, Finance Minister Audley Shaw is assuring educators that government's decision to apply the wage increase agreed by some unions this month end, despite teachers' rejection, is not an attempt at union busting. This move is one of the issues believed to have sparked the island-wide sickout of teachers. Most members of the JCTU, junior doctors, senior doctors, and certain categories of nurses have signed off on a 4-year arrangement that increases salaries by an accumulative 16%. In a statement, the Finance Minister says the government agrees that public servants, including teachers, deserve more, but the current wage offer cannot be improved without serious repercussions for the economy. Minister Shaw says granting a higher wage deal would demand an increase in taxes, something the government is not doing for the first time in many years, as it seeks to provide a relief to all citizens and protect the fragile state of the economy. While opening the budget debate last week, he further argued that the wage offer, when combined with an annual 2.5% performance-based increment paid to many public sector workers, represented a combined increase of 26% over 4 years.
We therefore believe that this is a fair offer compared to previous offers in the context of the current budget and in keeping with our commitment to achieve a 9% wage to GDP ratio by the end of the fiscal year.
The Finance Minister says government craves the understanding and patience of public sector workers and pledges to continue negotiations to settle on a wage deal for the period under consideration. He also commits that as the economy improves, the government should be able to provide better compensation in the future. In other news, several infrastructure development projects have been earmarked to start or continue in the new financial year as government continues to strive for greater economic growth. These include ongoing work on the North-South Highway and the Mandela Highway Improvement Project, and the commencement of the Constant Spring and Hagley Park roads upgrading, as well as the South Coast Highway and Montego Bay Perimeter Road.
These expenditures reflect the significant and substantive focus of this government to ensure that more roads are built and maintained. These include farm roads and roads in the rural and urban areas of Jamaica.
Other major development projects for the fiscal year include JISCA's multi-billion-dollar investment at the Alpart Alumina plant, construction of the BPO Technology Park at Nago Head in St. Catherine, the establishment of the Morant Bay Urban Center, and the $68.4 billion public bodies investment program. New classrooms will be constructed at the Black River High School in St. Elizabeth and the Portland-based Fair Prospect Primary School at a total cost of $31 million. Both institutions are the latest recipients of grant funding as part of the Government of Japan's Grassroots Human Security Project. Black River High School is receiving $20 million to build 4 classrooms, while Fair Prospect Primary will add 2 classrooms with its $11 million grant. The work at Black River High will move that school closer to coming off the shift system.
So this investment and this partnership between the government of Japan through the grassroots initiative is very timely. Both Black River High and Fair Prospect Primary are in fact in need of support. We intend to work further, and it's on our budget for us to do the full work to build out the capacity.
And finally, the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport has provided grant funding totaling $1 million to entrepreneurs residing within the Blue and John Crow Mountains World Heritage Site. The 20 recipients from Portland, St. Andrew and St. Thomas got $50,000 each to enhance their business operations in agriculture, craft, commodities, gastronomy and tourist attractions. The JBDC and the Jamaica National Social Enterprise Boost Initiative are partnering with the ministry to provide basic money management and financial literacy training for the grant recipients.
The ministry will be working with you and also with the applicants who did not qualify this time around for grants. We will be taking them through more training and to bring them up to speed.
Minister Grange says the Economic Opportunities Initiative will be expanded to other Indigenous groups in St. Elizabeth and Trelawney in the 2018-2019 financial year. She says the aim is to enable persons to tap into the business and income-generating potential within their communities in order to boost employment. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Carrie Ann Smith. Thanks for watching.
Now for a roundup of the latest news coming out of the office of the Prime Minister. It's time for Jamaica House Weekly.
High energy costs is a barrier to increased growth and competitiveness in many of our sectors, including agriculture.
The Prime Minister also welcomes enhanced partnership with Mexico, gives support to the no new tax measure for the 2018-19 budget, and salutes the nation's women. You're watching Jamaica House Weekly. I'm Simone Wolfe. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has welcomed partnership with the Mexican government in the area of training and technical services to benefit Jamaica's petroleum industry. This is being facilitated under a Memorandum of Understanding between the Petroleum Corporation of Jamaica and the Mexican Petroleum Institute. The agreement will facilitate the transfer of state-of-the-art technologies and knowledge in refining to make Jamaica's energy supply more flexible. It is among several areas in which both countries agreed to deepen relations during last week's working visit of Mexico's Foreign Secretary, Dr. Luis Vidagaray.
We agreed to work together to strengthen our bilateral cooperation framework, deepen trade and investment ties, as well as to promote a peaceful and prosperous Latin America and Caribbean region.
On Wednesday, Prime Minister Andrew Holness was in Montego Bay, where he addressed the correlation of high energy cost and food security. He was speaking at the opening ceremony of the FAO Regional Conference for Latin America and the Caribbean. Mr. Holness argued that if agriculture was to maximize its full potential, solutions must be found to tackle high energy costs. He said production and productivity in the agricultural sector increased greatly when electricity and other energy-related costs were less vulnerable to volatile oil prices.
We cannot speak to transforming and modernizing our agricultural sector without addressing how to alleviate high energy costs. The government of Jamaica is well aware of the closely bound interaction between energy security and food security. We are now developing an energy ecosystem that is diverse, environmentally sensitive, and affordable.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Holness underscored Jamaica's efforts in implementing climate-smart solutions in the agriculture sector to achieve economic growth and development.
Climate-smart solutions in agriculture are a must. We continue to push the integration of technology in improving irrigation systems, expanding the impact of our agro-park systems, and, as mentioned, expanding the use of renewable energy.
According to the Prime Minister, further growth and development can also be leveraged from partnerships.
The power of partnerships is a necessity. There are important investment roles for both the public and private sector to help transform our agricultural sectors to one that is competitive, to alleviate food's risk, and for overall increased contribution to economic development.
Back in Kingston, the Prime Minister showed his appreciation to a number of women in government, business, diplomacy and other professions on International Women's Day. They were treated to a breakfast meeting at the office of the Prime Minister.
Today, it's not just a symbol. It is a meaningful expression of the government's celebration of the role and achievement of women and an endorsement of all the actions for advocacy and support for the continued development of women in our society, for the increased participation of women in the society.
Mr. Holness said government would make deliberate efforts to create gender balance by including more women on government boards and committees. The Prime Minister also promised to lead the charge to get more men in government to speak up for women. On violence against women, especially intimate partner and domestic violence, the Prime Minister said more had to be done.
Government, ministers, politicians, we have a duty to look above what might be the cultural practices, the institutional biases. And even though we are a part of the culture, we have to separate ourselves from the culture and always do what is right. But we have been working to get the police to understand that they have a critical role in being proactive in addressing instances of intimate partner violence and domestic abuse that comes to their attention.
And finally, Prime Minister Andrew Holness was in Parliament on Thursday to support the no new tax measure by his administration in financing the 2018-19 budget. Mr. Holness also welcomed the newest Member of Parliament to the House, Dr. Nigel Clark. And that's how we close out Jamaica House Weekly. Do join us next time for more of the news coming out of the office of the Prime Minister.
Sweet Jamaica, we not left ya. Tough yam and banana, we not left ya.
Finger licking jerk chicken, Helcher fish and bammy, we run down yam and banana, roast bread fruit, sweet potato pudding. Jamaica Foods Eat. So let's make a pledge to use more local produce and less foreign goods. Let's grow what we eat and eat what we grow.
Sweet Jamaica, we not left ya.
The 16th staging of Jamaica Day was held on February 23. Schools and agencies in all corners of the island celebrated the best of Jamaica in fine style. Watch now as we give you highlights of the festivities that took place at Denham Town Primary and Monroe College.
Hello everybody and welcome to Jamaica Day 2018. I'm here at the Denham Town Primary School in downtown Kingston and we're celebrating the day under the theme Celebrating Jamaica, Nurturing Our Natural and Cultural Heritage. Woo!
Jamaica Day now is like a playback of an old movie and an old song where you get to know your culture a little bit more, and it's like reciting something each and every year.
I think Jamaica Day is tremendously important for our students to really generate patriotism and to reflect on some of our great achievements and how we can use those achievements to move us forward.
And what are some of the things that make us great?
We're talking about our mountains. We're talking about some historic areas. We're talking about some rivers that are unique to Jamaica. We're talking about our wonderful natural spa, like the Bass Fountain, Rock River, Milk River, or beautiful beaches. Jamaica has one of the finest beaches in the world.
I am proud about our colors, the sun, the beaches, the hospitals too, the churches, the restaurants.
I must say the food is absolutely immaculate. It's just the best. It's amazing. And the music, especially the gospel music, it's amazing. And let's not forget our athletes. Our athletes are absolutely fantastic.
The culture is very unique. Everyone from other places come to Jamaica and just try to speak like us, try to adapt to our culture and everything. I just love Jamaica and I would not trade my Caribbean island for anywhere else.
Jamaicans are so creative. I remember making these with my siblings when I was younger. But today we have so many other new musical instruments. One of them that we see every day in all sorts of musical genre in Jamaica is our drums. And speaking of music, here are snippets of other musical performances that took place on the day at the Denhamtown Primary School.
Be ready, 'cause time's getting jaded. Just said, don't you worry, I'm in a hurry, Lord, we got to be ready, 'cause time's getting jaded. You're watching Jamaica Magazine.
And that's not all. Our JIS team also captured the Jamaica Day National Celebration at the Monroe College in St. Elizabeth.
We have really been having a day that showcases the best of Jamaica. I often say that irrespective of all the problems that we have as a country, the best of Jamaica is still something that we see being demonstrated every day in our schools, and event like Jamaica Day helps to lay that out and underscore the value of that.
Lively up yourself. Lively up yourself. Lively up yourself. You rock so, you rock so. You dig so, you dig so. You rock so, you rock so. You skank so, you skank so.
And how can we continue to nurture our natural and cultural heritage?
First of all, we need to be planting so that we can have the natural oxygen more in the environment. We also need to take care of our plants.
So we must feel proud of ourselves, proud of our African heritage, proud to be black and beautiful. So whether it is in our clothing, whether it is even in our Creole, even that is something that we have to make sure that as a people we don't feel inferior because we speak Jamaican Creole. It is part of our culture, it is part of our identity.
We cannot celebrate Jamaica if we're not taking care of Jamaica.
And that's it for School Zone today. Tune in next year, same time, the last Friday in February for Jamaica Day. It was nice having you today. Take care.
The Housing Opportunity Production and Employment HOPE program, which seeks to provide skills training and apprenticeship for persons 18 to 24 years old, is well underway. Here's a look at the work and progress of some young people attached to the garment construction core of the program.
I was yearning for success so much that it brought me to the wrong route. I was actually incarcerated because of my actions, and that is where I got into sewing, because I had to do something to make up for the time and to keep myself active. So this program, I heard about it as soon as I was released in May 13th. So it was my ray of hope. This is my change. This is my way forward. So I come with all zeal and tenacity to go forward.
Cressy Ray is just one of the thousands of Jamaican young people whose lives are being transformed because of their engagement in the Prime Minister's Housing Opportunity Production and Employment HOPE program.
The HOPE program is about engaging with the youth of Jamaica in a meaningful way. To give them, so it is mainly a training and apprenticeship program, if I can summarize that in a nutshell. It involves engaging young persons through, firstly, values and attitudes, or what I call core skills training. Then it gets into a skills training, a very basic skills training, and then get them to serve as an apprentice for up to 1 year, honing the skills that they would have learned.
And that is exactly the course taken by the HOPE Garment Construction Corps at the Heart Trust NTA Garmix Academy.
The first phase was 2 weeks of what is called core skills training. Basically life skills training, different areas where they were taught life coping skills, punctuality, how to dress for work, how to manage their emotions, things like that.
I deserve the best things that life has to offer.
They were taken into the machine operating training, where the 100 were placed in 4 groups of 25 with 4 instructors learning to sew. The final phase will be going into production, where they will actually start making the shirts for the other persons. And you will see from the display we have over here that they're actually making shirts now.
Yes, you heard right. These students are actually making shirts for the over 15,000 participants of the HOPE program.
When we started the program, the intent was to have everybody be in receipt of a shirt, Oxford type shirt, that would be to help to promote the good working ethics, including their own dress and deportment. To purchase shirts outright and to have them branded, the cost was really far too prohibitive in order to kit out the vast numbers that we're hoping to reach on the program. Then there was a suggestion to speak to Heart Garmix Academy, and I found out that they had this massive facility with over 100 machines, which were generally being underutilized at the time.
Now, these young garment makers are learning much more than stitching shirts for fellow HOPE participants.
I'm enjoying it right now because I can make my own shirt, skirt, and now I'm dropping to make my own dress.
It is very enlightening, astounding. I didn't know it was so meticulous to make even a simple dress. You know, we look at it as just 2 pieces of fabric, but when you get down to the nitty and gritty, it has so many different calculations, but it's something I love.
Because the clothes wasn't working out for me, I tried to do jewelry making. It's going great so far because I can make my own jewelry, I can produce it, I can have my own store and selling them.
The length is from the waist to the ground.
And none of this would be possible without the team of hard-working instructors on hand.
At first, I didn't know anything about sewing. Then, basically, getting the steps from our instructors, and they're teaching us step by step, so you get everything and understand. And at this stage where I'm at, I'm proud of myself, because if I didn't came here, I wouldn't know to do nothing at all.
The teachers, trust me, they work hard. It's not easy dealing with us as young adults, so they work hard. And what I love about them, it's not just about passing for them. It is about sitting down with the person, making sure they understand. So I give the teachers 2 thumbs up.
They help me a lot because I give them most of them problem. And there is not an instructor here who don't know me. Because I walk around and I ask questions, how to do my shirt, and they all helped me. It don't make no sense to stay home and sit down and I look for somebody to get something when you can come out, learn a skill, and can do something for yourself.
It doesn't matter what background you're from or where you're from. Just come with an open mind and willing to learn. And once you're willing, you'll go a long way because there's hope for you.
For more information on the Garment Construction Corps or the HOPE program, call or visit a National Youth Service or Heart Trust NTA office. Toll free 1-888-432-7868 or email info@heart-nta.org.
Our land has been suffering from immorality. The crime, the drugs, the bloodshed have only brought more sorrow.
We must change and give our children a brighter tomorrow. Let's renew our pledge to God as we work to heal our land and fellow man.
Let's join hands across Jamaica
for righteousness.
Let's join hands.
Let's join hands across Jamaica
for righteousness.
Great eternal Father,
Bless this Jamaica land. Let's join
join
hands and hearts together
and make
Jamaica a land of love.
Unfortunately, this is where we close off our magazine for today. Thanks for staying with us for the entire show. Another informative edition awaits you tomorrow, but until then, share your feedback and comments on today's show by emailing us, jamaicamagazine@jis.gov.jm. Don't forget to visit our website at jis.gov.jm or follow us on Twitter at JIS News and on Instagram at JIS Voice. On behalf of the entire JIS team, walk good.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.